Do-do-do-do, it's Chemdork.
Hello everyone, this is Chemdork, and welcome to Season 3, Episode 6 of my Buildcraft, where we play Minecraft with the mods Buildcraft, Railcraft, and Forestry. I think the mob, or I should say the animal farms, have gotten kind of out of hand. These feed stations that you see, they work really well, but whatever, now we're set for forever for animals. We're gonna have to do something with them so that we don't have to do much. It is really loud here now, and it's just crowded. All the mobs I mean, there's so many of them, they just get pushed out. Like this cow, for example. He's just pushed out of his pen. Yeah. Anyway, there's tons of eggs. Like, I walk by, I get an egg. I throw it at the chickens, they're really angry at me, and oh, look, another chicken, why not? Anyway, we're not going to be messing with this again today. We'll save that for another time. But for today, oh, by the way, you kind of notice these textures now, they're all stuck together. I've installed Optifine. This should, it's no shaders or anything, but just Optifine itself should help run Minecraft a little more smoothly. And some other features. I think this zoom feature is now Optifine. It's kind of cool. I don't remember that being there. I'm pretty sure that's Optifine as well. Anyway, so I spruced up the place just a little bit. I think it looks different from the last episode, and got rid of most of the torches. Okay, most of the torches. Anyway, you'll see I also moved the map, and the map is where we're going to head right now. This is now a 5x5 map. I'll probably make it 7x7 eventually, but it's nice and big. And you can see we're right there, that little green dot. There is the overloaded animal farm. The gigantic mesa everywhere, and of course this little black diamond that you see right there, that is the nearest oil deposit. Very important because that is what we're going to be messing with today, because we are out of oil and completely out of fuel as well, guys. There is fuel left in the lines, and we can run these engines for quite some time, probably still, before we totally run out. But we're going to need some more fuel because, well, I have plans for it later on. And so for now, we have to figure out a way of getting the oil from here back to our base. And we're going to be doing that with Railcraft, because Railcraft adds trains. Now, this oil geyser is about like 250 blocks south or so, and about 150 or so blocks to the west. So it's 400 and change, or close to 400 blocks actually, away. So we're gonna have to be concerned with how we're going to be getting it from there to our base. And we're going to be using trains, and that's kind of where this area kind of comes into play. I've enclosed this now so that mobs don't just wander right into my base, but this area right here is going to be used for something of a railroad station. So we will start on that, at least for building the trains and setting up how we're going to be transporting oil in this episode. I don't know if we're going to set it up completely and get it working completely, but for now, for the first step, let's just see a little bit about what Railcraft has to offer in terms of trains and how we're going to be using that in today's episode. Okay, see you in just a minute, and we'll talk a bit about that. So you might be wondering exactly how we are going to be transporting the oil from where the geyser is to our base. Well, this is an example of the type of setup that we're going to have. So you see, we have a little train here. It's a steam locomotive right here. And steam locomotives, we'll talk a little bit about how they work, and we'll be building one of those today. And this steam locomotive is transporting a tank cart, which is basically just a mine cart with a tank inside, and the tank is going to hold liquids. And in this case, it's going to hold oil. So it'll come from our oil tank, get loaded up with oil at the geyser, and then be transported and unloaded over in our makeshift base. Along the way, there's a few things that we also have to have in place, not just a way of transporting oil to the cart and then oil from the cart, but we do have to have a way of resupplying our steam locomotive with things it needs to run, which in the case of steam locomotives, it needs water and then a solid fuel source to heat the water to make steam. So in that case, we'll be needing things like the advanced item loader, which will load up the steam locomotive with some coal. It doesn't use that much during this trip, but during our 400 block trip, we're going to probably have it need to load up things. That's right, steam locomotive, that's right. In that case, he didn't really need any. I think he's already set. He's fully loaded with some coal. And in this case, though, there's a little bit of room for water, so it will stop and pause at this water tank, load up on some water. We'll probably have this happen in the base. We'll also probably have the loading up of coal happen in the base as well. In this case, there's only one little tank cart on the back. We'll probably have a few of these things. We'll have a nice long train, and this is where the oil gets unloaded. So we'll have something similar to this in the base setup, and just wanted to show you kind of the idea about how it's going to work. So now, in order to make this, we need some resources to make all the elements. We need to make a lot of track. We need to make a locomotive. We need to make some of these fancy things like the fluid loader and the fluid unloader, an item loader and item unloader. Well, really just the item loader. But anyway, let's go ahead and make some of those things and then lay out some track and start building this nice, cool project. Let's get to work and make some things. The first thing to make, I believe, should be the locomotive. We're going to be needing this thing right here. So we need a steam locomotive. We need these high-pressure boiler tanks. They're made by steel plates, which we have in our inventory already. We also need the solid fuel boiler firebox. We need 2 of these things, which means we need some bricks. We need a fire charge and a furnace. The fire charge should have the stuff for that. I don't have the coal, but I have it right here. I'm running really out of coal as well. Let's go through a lot of coal. Let's see, the fire charge, we need just 2 of those, so we should be fine with... Wait, does it matter? I think it's a shapeless crafting completely. I think you can just put these anywhere. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, we're fine with that. Okay. And then, where's those... Yeah, there you go. There's the bricks. And, what else did we need in that? Hold on, what else did we need? Oh, a furnace, right. Okay, which we do have some of those things right here. 2 furnaces. 2 furnace-eye. No, just 2 furnaces. Okay, and whoop, and whoop, and there we go. 2 of those. We need to make some mine carts. We'll need to make a bunch of these, so let's just make those. There you go. Oh, you can only stack them 3? That's kind of odd. And then these steel plates we'll need to make these guys. So it's 4 of those, 2 of those, oh wait, iron bars. Forgot the iron bars. We have 1 of those as well. So there you go. The iron bar in the front, like the little cow catcher. The fuel boiler firebox, which makes sense. Boiler tank, which totally makes sense, and the mine carts, which also makes sense. Our first steam locomotive. Ooh, we are railroad engineers right now. And now for the tracks. The tracks are the other big thing. We need to make a lot of these guys. And tracks, we already have a bunch of tracks. Hold on. We already have a few stacks, but basically the way we can make this is, is standard rails, wooden rail bed, and or we could do it the old Minecraft way. I think we can still do that, but we really do want to make it this way. Standard rails are, well, they're made in the rolling machine. We can use bronze, iron, or steel. We're going to use some steel to make standard rails. It just makes the most of them. And if we make too many, that's not a big deal, because it's just not a big deal. Just telling you guys, it's totally not a big deal. So I just made this little setup so that I could actually start to make these things without having to waste power. So let me do that. Yeah, we'll just kind of, I don't know, I guess we can do it this way. I don't know, we're just going to make a bunch. Go ahead. Come on. Yep, that's good enough. Okay, so that'll make some stuff, and while that's going on, we'll do the other component of those rails, which was the wooden rail bed. These are made by 4 wooden ties, and the wooden ties are made with creosote oil and the balsa wood slab, or, well, any wood slabs, I should say. Now, we have wood slabs, we have creosote oil. We can also do this in the carpenter, actually, and I think... Yeah, I think if I do this, we can probably see... The carpenter actually can do it with just a little bit less creosote oil. I have one set up right here, but it's just set up and hooked up to water, and you know, it's just going to be easy enough to do it with the creosote oil. I have 8 of these little bottles that I found in a mine shaft, actually. So this will be good for now. We can use this up. Wait, really? That's it? Wow. And until then, we'll have to fill up this bucket and go back and forth with it. So I'm going to go ahead and make all those ties. There we go. We'll do that. We'll come into here. This is going to be kind of a slow process. Yeah, this will be a slow and painful process. Really? That's it? Man, I got to make one of these. Anyway, I'm going to make a whole bunch of those guys. I'll be right back. And we will assemble the tracks and then start building. So it continues. We now have some standard rails. So let's just set these up and make a whole bunch of tracks. Because we can... And that would be cool to do so. There we go. And whatever. Let's just make that. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of tracks now. We'll put them all in here, just because there's not even enough room for them all. We'll put all those standard rails. Not even enough room for everything here. A few other things we need, and we might as well make them now because we are going to need them. The fluid loader and the fluid unloader. They're basically the same thing, just kind of made in reverse. We need a hopper. So yeah, I need to make a hopper. Need to make 2 of those hoppers. I need to make a detector for fluids. It's a brick and a pressure plate. I will also need to have some glass on hand and the advanced item loader, because we need to load up our steam locomotive with some coal. And for that, I need an item loader and some steel and some redstone and some steel shovels. And again, another hopper and another detector for items. So we got a bunch of things more to make. I'm going to make all of those things. And then I'll be back once I have everything I need, and we will now start to lay down the track. Well, we're ready to go, but just about as I'm ready to go, you might notice that there's a skeleton in a very unusual place over here. He spawned inside the water tank. This water tank with like 2,000 buckets of water in it. I have no idea whether he is going to drown or not. I just don't know what's going on inside there. I had no idea he could actually spawn. And when I push the F7 key, this shows me little yellow areas and red areas where things can spawn, and it doesn't show anything inside there. So I'm really quite confused. Anyway, but that's really bizarre. I had no idea. Anyway, where are we going again? Well, we're going south and to the west, and we're going to cut through the mesa just because it's a little easier, a little less mobs around, and we can just go straight. And then we're going to cut over here probably. Right here. We're not going to go right to the water tank. We're going to go right here and set up shop at the edge of the forest right there. So obviously I'm not going to lay down all those tracks, but I have a bunch right here, and we're going to start the line right here. I'm probably going to put in some form of door of sorts so that mobs don't just kind of come pouring in. We'll set that up in a bit, but maybe not even this episode. We'll see. And I'm just gonna kind of give this a generous helping. Now we need to connect these two with a special track, so I'm gonna just take that, and we'll make the track later because there's just no room at all for anything. I might as well lay down and throw down the locomotive. Like, why not, right? I don't have a crowbar handy, so I'm going to have to turn that around at some point. I am also going to lay down my tank carts. And the anchor cart, which we won't keep loaded right now. So we'll connect these two or all of these in a train. But that is our train. No, that is not our train. Hold on. There's one portion of this that I need to add, and that is this. It's a minecart so that I can travel along with the train if I so choose to do so. Just a fun little thing that we're going to also add. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and lay down this track. I might change the way this layout is. In fact, I would like to give myself as much room for the train to turn around as possible. So let me just do this. And eventually I'll put something there. I'll put a junction track right there, although we won't be switching that one. And that's it. Okay, so I'm going to lay down the track. We're going to head our way down south, which is to the left here, through the mountain here. We're just going to do a nice little tunnel, and I'll be right back. Well, all the track is laid, basically, and in the spirit of animals or mobs being where they're not really supposed to be, we have a sheep and a tree way over there on the other side of the edge of the forest. Yeah, he's going to stay there forever and not ever eat any grass, is he? Yeah, not really much grass to eat in the top of a tree. Anyway, this is kind of where I have it set up. This is going to be the loading-unloading area. It is close enough to the pump where we can just run with pipes in to somewhere close to here. Probably like just run with pipes over to here to a tank, and then the tank will load up. And I think I'm going to have it load up. So here I have the switch track. I'm going to place it down right here. If the switch track is right here, the train will come over here. It will travel, travel, travel. And then when it hits the switch track, it will go straight and keep going. Now, it'll keep going. It'll go around here, and this is perfectly fine. And I think I'm going to have it load and unload right here. Or I should say, actually, this is just going to be loading, and it's going to be loading right here. And then I want it to go back this way. Now, in order to do that, though, I got to switch this. So we can use the crowbar, right-click, and change the direction. So that this will come down here that way, but a train coming this way will just keep on going straight. So that should work just fine. And we're going to want to load up with some liquid, and I didn't bring a fluid loader, but we're going to put one over here. And then we need to set up the pump for this oil. So the pump for this oil, well, it's going to be interesting because we got to actually place the pump up there, and then we got to power it somehow. And I'm going to have a pump for it powered by a combustion engine. I think just one combustion engine. I brought two, but I think I'll just do one. And the one will power two pumps. I need another pump. So I need another pump because I need one pump for the actual oil itself. And then since I'm using a combustion engine, I need to cool it with water, so we need another pump for water. And I'm going to put an infinite pool somewhere up there so that it can be an easy transport to and from. So I'm going to set up the plumbing for that, and as well as the tank, and maybe start pumping the oil. So I'll be right back with that setup, and we'll see it in action. There it is in all its grandeur. Yay! The other pumping station, the second pumping station, which will be done in a minute. I can pull this lever and have things go, but instead of doing that right now, let's actually start things, because this combustion engine, of course, won't start unless it has fuel, so we need to also just throw in some water so that it can cool itself. And I'm just going to take, I'm going to take one of these oil, put it in, and now, put it in, and this is running on oil. So yeah, it'd be running on fuel would be really nice, but it's not. It's going to run on oil. So there's our pump. It's hooked up to a kinesis pipe right here, and this kinesis pipe is also hooked up to the second pump. The second pump is pumping water to cool this pump, to cool this combustion engine, and they're all powered by the same combustion engine. So as soon as we turned this on, oh right, I forgot about redstone. I think there's 16. Ah, it's so close. Well, you know what? I thought it was 16, but I guess it's not. It will be 16 away now. Okay, let's try that. That should do it. There we go. Okay, so we're powering things. We're powering things. We're sucking down some oil, and here it comes. The oil is going into here. It will fill up the engine eventually. And, oh good, the pump's working. Everything's working fine. Come on, oil. Here it comes. Here it comes. There's a little bit of oil. And it should be filling up the engine. There it goes. And it's on its way, and it will eventually make its way into this tank right here. And I'm going to eat myself a baked potato. Good, good, good. And let's see. Now, when we put pipes out the bottom of this tank... okay, never mind. Bottom of this tank, it will automatically flow out. Liquids will automatically flow out the bottom. You don't need to pump them out. And it doesn't obey... there we go. So, yeah, it's kind of starting to come out, and it's starting to come out into this pipe, too. Liquids don't obey proper laws, as it turns out. So let me make sure I put this fluid unloader in a appropriate location. I'm going to put it right here. Yeah, I'm going to put it like right here. Fluid loader right there. So the fluid loader will be filled up, and we'll have to put a nice special track here. This is what's called a locking track. And we won't really talk too much about this right now, but hold on. We'll put it right below there, and in its default mode is actually just perfectly fine for the job in which we want it to do. I'll just hook it up here. All right, with the pipes. Come on, there we go. We'll just hook up these pipes. And one more. There we go. Okay, so cool. cool. This should be filling up. Well, it is filling up effectively, but it's taking a little bit longer. And this first part always takes a bit because the pump removes a bucket of oil and then goes down, removes a bucket of oil, goes down, and eventually when it gets down to the bowl down the bottom, this process goes a little faster. But in the beginning, it's a little slow. That's okay. As long as the combustion engine doesn't die, as we see, we get a little bit of oil. Right now we have a bucket. And there it goes. Okay, so this is ready to fill up some train minecarts, which we have back at the base. Except when we go back to the base, this will probably be unloaded because this chunk is relatively far away. So how do we keep this loaded? Well, we can use one of these world anchors. So I'm going to put this world anchor, I don't know, somewhere where it will keep this loaded. I mean, effectively, I will stand, like, right here. I'm going to put it kind of over here, that way it doesn't load up too much of the forest and generate too many mobs, although that's probably just going to happen anyway. The problem is, like, this is not running right now. And the reason why it doesn't run is because it needs some fuel, and the fuel it needs is an ender pearl. So as soon as we do this, now it is starting to run, and it will start using up that ender pearl. It does run for 12 hours, which is pretty nice. I believe it's real world hours too, so it's not too bad. It doesn't use ender pearls that quickly, but this is my very last ender pearl, so I'm going to need to have a way of getting some ender pearls here, and we're also going to need ender pearls to power the cart and its world anchor. But for now, this will work just fine. I put the switch right next to it because when I flip the switch, you see this go off. It's red now, and it means it's not running. When I do it this way, it is running. So when I give it redstone signal, it should... yeah. If I give it a redstone signal, it will shut off. But if I remove the redstone signal like that, it will turn back on. So we'll have it go on. This is filling up with fuel nicely, and now we're getting a decent amount of flow here as it's getting down into... Oh, okay, well, eventually we're going to get a decent amount of flow. As you see, it's still pumping oil underneath. It's starting to go slowly. We should probably see it remove an oil. There it goes, and then it lowers itself down a bit. Yeah, there it goes. It's lowering itself down a bit. Have to wait for it to do so, and then it removes the oil once again. So it takes a little while in the beginning, especially. Once it gets all the way down, though, it'll be really quite quick. So that's it. Let's go back to the base, do a few things, and then close out the episode. We will probably not see the system running until next episode, because we're running a little bit over the time that I wanted. But maybe we can get something going. Yeah, you know what? Let's try to get it going. Okay, I'll see you back at the base. So we're back here at the base. It is time to set this area up. We're going to do it pretty quickly so we can finish out this episode now, and then we'll probably refine it in the next episode. So right here we're going to put a switch track. This needs to be pointed in the right direction, so I want the train to come in here. It's going to do unloading right here, which should be... yeah, that's right where I put this little guy right here. This pipe, he's going to... well, I'm just going to put the fluid unloader right here. So the fluid unloader goes right there, and you can put tracks right on top. In this case, what we're going to do is put a locking track right on top of it. And that locking track will hold the train in place until the carts are empty, or until... come on. Until this fluid unloader is set to hold carts until completely empty. We can click this and say you can either just emit redstone immediately, or empty. Basically what this does is once the cart is empty and it's over top of this, it sends out a redstone signal, and when the redstone signal is sent, this locking track unlocks, basically, and the train can go on its merry way exactly as it was before. What we do need to do, though, is we don't want to unload the steam locomotive of its water, so we want to make sure that it is only tank carts right here. Only tank carts get unloaded when it passes over here. That's important. And the other part about this is that we want to... so here it's... yeah, there we go. Okay, and I want to put a basic Arctic gate here. We're going to put it where... oh, let's see, fluid in tank at all, make the energy pulsar. So that means it will just pump out, and it is it is really good to be an emerald pipe there because that does it at a rate that makes it worthwhile. So I'll set up the pipes there to the oil. And then, oh, this switch track, though, is not pointed in the right direction because it would go here, it would go around here, and then back again, and it would go out. So I need this to point that way, so that way once it gets to here, it goes in that direction, and if it's coming from here, it will go just straight ahead, do its unloading, and then come over here. And in this area, why isn't this being picked up? I hate that. Anyways, in this area, we're going to be loading back up with water at the same time that we fill up with some coal on the steam locomotive. And so for that, we need to actually put these two things. The advanced item loader, which loads items into carts from the side, which is what we need for the steam locomotive. So let's go ahead and place that one. I'm going to place that one. I'm going to do it right... yeah, I think I'm going to do it like right... Hold on, right here. We're going to put a liquid on the top. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. There's the stuff. I think this will hook up with the... you know what? I'm going to put it right here, actually. Yeah, I'm going to put it right here instead. Okay, so this will hook up with the water pump, with the water pipe, which is right... I can see it. It's right there. Here, so let me do that. Let me put the fluid loader first, right here. Okay, there we go. And I will put right here at the same point because the steam locomotive is going to be sitting right here. So instead of that, we're going to put a locking track that will engage this guy right here. And also we will put the advanced item loader right here. It's pointed toward this direction. You need it for loading up the steam locomotive. And we'll also set it to be only set to steam locomotive. This will be only set to steam locomotive. This is a critical point because if our train comes passing along here and we have these tank carts hanging out, they're going to be emptied here, and then they're going to be released, and then they're going to have empty tank carts here until we reach, we reach this fluid loader, which is now going to fill it up with water. So let's actually set up the connection with water for that fluid loader first so that we can get things going. It's right over here. We'll just hook it up with, the fluid loader's over there. So there you go, cobblestone pipe. It's right there, and then, and I'll just hook right into that, and that should fill it up right away. Should fill it up lickety split. There it goes, filling up with water. Okay, cool. And for now, we will also set up our actual train. So now we can set up our train proper. It is going to be locomotive right here. We can right-click on that so that he's facing the right direction. There's going to be an empty minecart. This is for me to ride in if I so choose. We can hook these together by doing a shift right-click. Shift right-click to start a link. Shift right-click to link the two together. Now they're linked together. And we'll do the same thing for our 3 tank carts. We can just place them here and do the same deal. Link those two together. Link those two together, and link those two together. And then finally, we're going to do the anchor cart right here and link those two together. So that should link everything together. Oh, somehow it turned its direction away. Come on. Yeah, I've had some problems with these guys pointing in the wrong direction, so we might have to set up the locking mechanisms to fix that a little bit. But for now, we'll kind of deal with this as it is. So I'm just going to put a few in there. And then I'm going to put the rest of them in this advanced item loader. I'll figure out a system for loading this up automatically. At least the water is loading itself up kind of automatically. And also for now, I'm just going to fill up this mostly. I don't know how much it takes. It needs a little bit. All right, 5,000, and I want to see it at least a little bit work. Okay, so that should be fine. And, okay, so what we can do is run this in idle mode. What this does is it starts the steam locomotive. It needs to actually produce some steam and heat up a bit, and once it heats up enough, and then it'll be all set to do its thing. And I believe the area over in by the oil pump should be all set and all good to go. And as I'm doing stuff over here, that's already running. So we won't have to run this anchor cart yet. As you see, it's off right now because I didn't give it an ender pearl. But we don't have to get it running because at first I'm just going to ride with this thing. So once this guy is ready to go, he's starting to heat up. Once he heats up to something reasonable... Oh, we need more coal. I need much more coal for this. There we go. In fact, we can use some of that coal coke that we have. I believe we have some more of it over here. Unless I gave it all to the blast furnace. I don't think so. Charcoal we can also use. Eventually I will be using charcoal for powering this, but for now let's just use that. I believe you can also use blaze rods, which I also have. I'll give that to the locomotive too. I think that'll be fine if I give it to the... I'll just get the blaze rods over here. I think you can burn them, so they should work just fine in the steam locomotive. That's what I believe. So, in any case, I will put it in here, and we'll see if it loads it up. So, okay, there we go. So now it's creating steam, and it should be good to go. So once we do this, I'm gonna run it in like double mode, and let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the locking track holds the steam track there. It did. Oh, okay. Let's load up. Okay, this thing's going at a pretty good clip. All right, I think I can shoot the bow while I'm on this thing. By the way, okay. We have, as you see, the mobs. Cool. This is awesome. The mobs don't. The train does not stop for mobs. It just pushes them along, as apparently it does. It should push them out of the way, but I believe since this is a 1 block wide opening, it doesn't push it out of the way properly. Okay, good thing the creeper is over there. He's hanging out. Ah, this is pretty cool. Look at this. This goes at a pretty good clip when it's at this speed. So I can control it right here if I really want to. It is eating through our fuel right now. Okay. We got lots of excitement coming on. Now usually these mobs won't be all over this train like that. Okay, my goodness. Everybody wants us dead. Yeehaw! I am shooting in the mesa. Oh, come on. Jesus. Ah! There. Come on. Don't. Stop it. Okay, there we go. Ooh. Hey, wait a minute. Where's my hunger bar? Oh. I guess it doesn't show when you're riding in the train? Huh. I guess I can't starve while I'm riding the train. That's interesting. Alright, there we go. See? We're heading up to the oil geyser, and I believe it's a little lower, so it looks like that world anchor did work. I believe, unless this thing stopped running for some reason, which wouldn't surprise me. Okay, so as I get close, I'm going to actually disembark here. Alright, so let this thing go and do its thing. It should now go over here, just like we wanted. It should go over this way. Alright, and it should stop. Boop! And fill up. Nice. Okay, there we go. So now it's filling up the one. It'll fill up the second one, and then it'll fill up the third one. Yes, this is working so great. This is working exactly as I wanted it to. Okay, so it'll fill up that one. As we keep... Okay, you guys need to stay away. You guys really need to stay away. That stupid creeper. Do not blow up my... I must protect the train, basically. This is like an escort mission. So it'll fill up this one, and then it should move on to the next one, and stop at the next one, and do the same for the third one. So let's see how well that works. While I'm here, we can shut this off. Yeah, see. 11.63 hours. So yeah, that's about right. That's real world hours, not Minecraft hours. Okay, it's just about done. Fixing this first one. It'll raise up a bit, so it's not the most efficient way of doing it, but hey, it works. I can probably set it so that there's 3 of them. I think that'll be actually quicker, and we might want to try that out. Woohoo! Look at that. Look at this. We're filling up. We're filling up with oil. This is great. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Wow. Well, there you have it. There you have it, an oil transport system. So I'll wait for this thing to actually finish and fill up with oil, and we'll ride it back. And do the harrowing ride once again back to our base. It's exciting, guys. It's exciting. I see the train coming. I see it coming. I see it coming. There it is. She'll be coming round the mountain when she comes. She'll be lugging 3 tankers of oil when she comes. Nice. All right, so okay, well, let's get back to the base here. Let's see her coming through the mountain when it comes right here. Honk honk. Come on, blow the whistle. I really need to set it up where it blows the whistle when it comes along here at specific locations. Woo! All right, cool. Look at that. So in comes the train. Oh, this is so sweet. So it should stop right here because there's a locking track. And now it is pulling out that oil because we have it pumping into our tank. Hooray, hooray. We are going to have some oil. So we're transferring the oil now. Now, I have to babysit this just a bit because, for one, it doesn't have that much fuel, so we'll have to give it a little more eventually. Plus that, okay, let's see. That's fine. It has plenty of, only 1 stop for water is plenty for this guy. The second part is that eventually that oil, guys, will run out, and then at that point I really should shut down that engine, otherwise it will overheat and explode because the pump will have nothing to do. But for now, guys, this is it. This is what Railcraft is all about, at least initially. We still haven't gotten into like routing and other things, and oops, what just happened? I'm not so sure. Okay, so there's a few things we need to figure out first, but get back here, get back here, get back here. Turn around. Did I just mistakenly hit it? Come on, turn around, turn around, turn around, turn around. Nope, wait. There it is. Okay, there it is. Yeah, so for some reason the train sometimes turns around, I noticed, and I think it's because I have to set the locking track a little differently. But in any case, sweet! So, guys, this is the start of something pretty awesome, and we will fix some of these little flaws in the design in episodes to come. Alright, so I will see you guys in a later episode, next episode, and thanks for watching. Alright, take care, guys. Bye-bye.